How much would you say you spent on engagement rings?
Oh, that's so funny. At one point, I was literally dolphin shopping for Mariah.
Who is the most famous person in your contacts?
Ooh.
I know everybody.
Welcome back to the Dating Diner.
It is episode 2, and we are joined here with a very, very, very special guest.
Yes.
A man who truly needs no introduction. He's one of the greatest hosts of all time.
Wow.
In my honest opinion.
Thank you.
I mean,
man.
you've seen
I
his
agree.
face. You know his face. He's been on Wild Now. We're talking about the Masked Singer, the Daily Canon every Monday.
Yeah.
America's Got Talent. The list
Yeah.
goes on and on. Nickelodeon. He is none other than Nick Cannon.
I'm here.
Boom.
You guys are adorable.
Oh, thanks.
You guys, congratulations
you.
on everything.
Well, thanks, and we appreciate that avocado hat.
I know.
No, you know.
I was about to compliment it when you first got here.
That's pretty cool.
I figured, I was coming and making sure the Dating Diner had all the food groups.
Yes. Have to have a well-balanced meal because we're having milkshakes at 10 in the morning.
Exactly.
We are. Yeah, what's your favorite milkshake flavor?
Avocado.
Oh,
Nah,
That's my favorite.
what time do you normally wake up in the morning?
4 a.m.
Oh my gosh. What time do you go to bed?
On a good night, maybe 10. On a probably normally midnight though.
So you're running on 4 hours of sleep most
Always.
of the time. That's
what
crazy.
dads do.
So Nick and I, we've been recently working on his new project, the Daily Canon,
Yeah.
every Monday, and I
Yeah.
heard you're making some big moves with it, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, we're really trying to figure it out in a big way because I feel like, utilizing your voice. It was always my radio voice anyway. It started as a morning radio show. I was doing mornings here in LA and then in New York, and I was like, now, just as we're doing now, when you can kind of own your own brand and all of that stuff, it kind of just makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
You have a very soft, soothing voice. I feel like if I heard you on the radio in the morning, I'd fall back asleep.
I mean, compared to Parker,
That's true. That's really true.
Hey, I can do that. I call that my Nickelodeon voice.
Yep.
Kevin Hart makes fun of me all the time. Like, hey guys, what's going on? I can do that, but as I've gotten older, I kind of just get into
It's
that
very
shit.
mellow.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what's funny, dude, and you probably didn't know this, but you and I both worked with the same producers and directors, Kevin Koplo and Heath Cypher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
OG Nickelodeon.
OG, I did a show called Warped with them.
Nice,
And
yeah.
I also auditioned for all that. But
Yeah.
they're great, man.
Kevin and Heath, man. I've known those guys since I was a teenager.
Crazy.
That's
When did
crazy.
you start on Nickelodeon?
I started doing warm-up for Nickelodeon when I was about 16, so in the mid-90s.
That's when I started too. That's awesome.
And
In the
then,
mid-90s?
yeah, he was,
When I was
when he was
16.
16. Yeah. The 90s, I don't think he was around then. But yeah, 16, I was doing warm-up. Then I was writing with Kevin and Heath. By the time I was 17, those guys were they respected my youthful approach and lens on a lot of stuff as the audience warm-up. And then I didn't get on to the actual show until I was about 18.
Okay.
Wow.
So I was just behind the scenes writing and stuff at 16 with Keenan and Kel and Amanda, all of those cool cats.
Yeah.
Those cool cats.
Yeah.
You're a Nickelodeon legend, dude.
Man, I tried. Those are the legends. I mean, the Nick Cannon show, we ran for about 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We created Snick House and Snick Saturday nights on Nickelodeon, but the legends are Keenan and Kel and Amanda Bynes and all the OG, all that cast, Josh Server and Lori Beth Denberg. Those are the OGs.
And Nick Cannon. Don't forget
And
about
Nick
Nick
Cannon.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Well, what we know of is that Will Smith helped kind of kickstart your career.
Man, that dude, I'm forever in debt to that dude. I love that dude. He's just a great example of a human being just living their life in a way that is full throttle, high velocity, high frequency at all times. And I watched that. I saw that. I got to witness that up close and personal since around 16. He was aware of me doing stand up and stuff like that. He had his company was just emerging at the time. Obviously, he was the biggest movie star on the planet, and he gave me an opportunity. He worked with me on music. He worked with me. He signed me to my first television deal outside of Nickelodeon, a real deal for a show that I created for Warner Brothers. And he also put me in my first movie, Men in Black, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Legendary movie. I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen Drumline.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was helpful in getting me in Drumline as well. It was up to me and another guy, and it was a Fox movie, and Will had just made Independence Day, so he was able to call the head of Fox and be like, yo, this kid Nick Cannon is the truth. So
That's
that
awesome.
extra little push got me to roll.
Isn't it crazy how that works, man? I feel like it's cool because I know that you are starting to work with like younger artists as well. And is
Yeah.
that the reason why? Because Will did it for you?
Absolutely. I mean, I learned by the example that he taught, and but I'm also, a true believer in too much is given, much is required. And really one of those people who really just, we're blessed so we can be a blessing. So if I see, and if my field is being able to be a conduit for someone else, like, that's why I created stuff like Wild and Out. And even now what we're doing with the Daily Canon is like, I'll use my light to shine on others.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Uh-oh. Let's go.
When you're like working with, like younger artists and creators or whatever, what is it that you like look for in somebody that you're like, I'm going to take them under my wing? It's
their work ethic more than anything. I mean, because usually talent is easy to come by, sadly to say. Everyone is talented at something.
Right.
It's what they do with that talent that makes you like, oh, that's the it factor. And that's how they present themselves. That's how, when they walk into the room, do they light it up? Like, that is usually within them.
Yeah.
And so that matched with the ability to be like, I'm going to succeed, by any means necessary. That's usually like, okay, I can help that person, because all I got to do is open the door or introduce them to somebody or give them a platform, and they're going to take it and run with it. I've met thousands of talented people that have talent, but it's just they don't have that extra oomph.
I get it. It's like, it's not something you can learn. It's like, it's something that you just possess.
You guys got it. I mean, Parker, every time he walks into Daily Canon, everybody's like, whoa. but that's when like, yo, that person has it.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. My dad always tells me that. He says, man, always say Parker Panel, because it's my real name. It's not a stage name, and it's got good alliteration.
Got
I used to do that as well, too. Ever since I was 4 years old, I would always introduce myself as Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon.
And I tell all my kids to introduce their full name, like, just say, because
Sarah Coomer.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you got to
confidence.
do it. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like, should I know you? Have we met before? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Since you've seen so much talent, and you obviously did America's Got Talent, what would you say is the most talented act, in your honest opinion?
Ever? I mean, that's the thing. Once you do AGT, man, like, I've seen so many things that are like mind-blowing that almost seem magical at times.
Yeah.
To where like some of these, and it's usually the kids, some of these kids, like, but it would really come from like a lot of the like European acts and like family acts that like are in the Cirque du Soleil world, where one even like, whether they can, I'm pretty sure, like, even she's not one of those acts, but she does it as well, did very well on America's Got Talent. But like Sophie Dawsey,
yeah.
like, when you could, like, I remember her at 9 years old, and she's like bending her body all the time, like shooting a bow and arrow like with her toes.
Insane.
Like,
and she's still doing it too.
And that type of stuff is mind-boggling to me. Like, when I'm like, how, like, you're not real, you're not human. Like, something has happened in another lifetime that has given you these extraordinary gifts. So it's usually that, because everybody can sing. Singing can be taught. And again, that's always matched with your confidence and, what you do with it. Playing an instrument, that's something you can train to be really good at an instrument. Even being funny, you know what I mean? You can work on comedic timing, you can tell your story. But when it's something like with your physical body, that it's like God-given. That type of stuff blows my mind.
I know my favorite America's Got Talent act.
Which is?
Which one?
Well, it's going to be really embarrassing if you don't remember it.
Uh-oh, I got to remember.
But it goes something like this.
Let's see it.
Boo yourself! Boo yourself!
Wow.
Larry the mime.
That is so, they actually asked me to come back and do that. That was, to me, like, two of the greatest guys I've ever had the opportunity to work with and always looked up to is Howie Mandel and Howard Stern. Two of the best pranksters and outgoing funny guys in the world. You know what I mean? Like, Howie's literally known for pulling pranks on people. And then we know Howard being the king of all media. I was like, I wonder if I can get these guys. Yeah. And I watched them also be really mean to acts. Because like, that's kind of the shtick sometimes. Like, if it's a bad act, they're like, ooh, it's a viral moment. I
Go
get to
in
go
on
in
them,
on
yeah.
them. Yeah, so they got their jokes ready. They're ready to tell people that they suck and all of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I flip it on him and act like I know Howie doesn't like to be touched, Howard doesn't want anyone near him. It's literally security like steps away, and the security was kind of in on it. So they were like, I was like, let me get as close as possible. And I'm gonna get up in there. I'm gonna scare the bejesus out of her, and it worked.
That's
and
so they
classic.
really didn't know.
Had no
That's
clue.
hilarious.
And like Howie's like, it's Nick. I was like, all right, you got me.
I remember watching
boo
that.
yourself.
Like,
Boo yourself. Yeah, you gotta give us one more, dude.
Boo yourself.
I like vividly remember watching that on my couch with my family, and we were all like, "Oh my gosh!"
You clearly have done so many cool things, and I think because of that, you built up this really cool image. And I feel like that image, I don't know much about it, but I feel like the whole world doesn't either. But you know, being a celebrity and what that consists of, and whatever you want to consider a celebrity.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm curious about is like, how does your typical day-to-day being a quote-unquote celebrity vary between you and just a regular person?
It's weird. I never considered myself a celebrity. Like even because I started behind the scenes, or even like I don't think stand-up comedians for the most part think they're celebrities, because they start at such a ground level, and there's a love and passion for it, and the better you get, the more you hold on to that. Of course, you get to the levels of Eddie Murphy, Seinfeld, Chappelle, but even those guys, you'll see them at the Cellar in New York. You'll see them walk like they don't want the fame, but even though they'll reach the level. So I think I've always had that in me. And then like I've actually been around really famous people and celebrities. Like Mariah Carey is a celebrity.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Do you like get nervous?
Like yeah, like, exactly. Like, I'm nervous around my baby mama all the time for multiple reasons. But though I'm not cut from that cloth. Like I'm regular. Like,
right.
But there is a side of me that, you know, I guess, you know, I can acknowledge being a public figure, and I've been it for so long. That's the other thing too, to where I try to normalize that experience. And it's weird because now it's become more normal. Like everyone's a celebrity nowadays if you think about it. Like, you know, it's almost like what Andy Warhol said. It's like in the future everyone will be famous for 15 minutes. Yeah. And it's really that we're living in that future now. Like everybody gets an opportunity to go viral at least once on TikTok
for
or
sure.
something. You know, it's like, so now it's like, oh, celebrity is normal. Like you're gonna be a part of something that millions of people see at some point in your life. Yeah. And before, like the obscurity is what, you know, used to be the norm, but now it's like, oh no, the norm is everybody saw that. Oh yeah, I did see that. Like so. That's kind of always been my existence. I mean, even in the content that I create and the things that I do, I'm like, I'll do Man on the Streets. I'll do Daily Cannon. I'll do, even in GT, if you watched it, like my thing was like trying to be cordial and interactive with the everyday person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so that to me is like, I'm like the anti-celebrity.
I don't know if I'd agree with that.
I try to be. Again, maybe it's not real because I also know my life is really weird and bizarre. So it's like maybe that aspect of it. But I'm never like the whole, you know, like I don't do the star stuff. I don't do the celebrity stuff.
But do you still go to the grocery store?
Yeah, like I've never stopped doing any of that
use
stuff.
Public restrooms?
Yes, where else am I taking piss? I'm waiting for the celebrity seat with the star urinal.
They have that in LA. Just they have like the celebrity bathroom.
Not like I don't. Now I'll take the perks all day long.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If I'm taking my 12 kids to Disneyland, please let me get through the VIP. But I don't. Yeah, I never move like. It's funny too, because even when I was married, like that was the thing. I was like, "Yeah, we got to go to Walmart. We got to go to we got to go to 7-Eleven." You're like, can you imagine Mariah Carey and Walmart? We used to do it. Like it was like you
got a lot of kids. Got to get some lunchables somewhere.
Diapers.
Exactly.
Dude, that's funny. You don't go to Hollywood Boulevard, I would imagine.
I
right?
do, but I go to Hollywood Boulevard because that's where I'm doing a lot of my Man on the Street stuff.
Yeah.
So but I've never stopped. I've like since I was admiring the stars on the, and I guess I also move at a pace to where, like, if people know that I'm going to show up, then that's when you probably have to call for security, because like, oh, it's a book signing, it's a in-store album release. It's a DJ of it. That type of stuff. You do the, it's a press junket. It's a movie premiere.
Yeah.
Then you do the celebrity stuff. But like, I'm going to, 7-Eleven. I ain't got to call nobody. I'm just.
Have you seen that video of Kylie Jenner and Kris Jenner at the grocery store, and like Kylie's returning the cart and Kris is like, "Go, Kylie, you're doing amazing."
But see, like I've known that I used to take, Kendall and Kylie trick or treating. Like they're normal to me. You know what I mean? Like even still to this day, like all of our kids kind of live in the same area, hang out together. Like my son and Kim's son, saying like they're like buds. They like play on the same basketball team. They play video games after school. Like and I look to the left at the kids basketball practice and Kim and Kanye are right there. Like so I don't see them as celebrities unless it's like in their element. But I kind of know the people opposed to like the occupation. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of how I see it.
I have a question about your kids.
Sure.
Do they like all go to the same school?
No, they do not. Like, that's the hard thing. I'm literally speeding through Calabasas every morning. They're at different ages though. Like my teenagers who are about to be 14, they've always been homeschooled, and they're actually excited about high school now. So we're looking at different high schools, and this is going to be their first school experience. So I'm like, ooh, that's interesting, because they're already a couple of grades ahead because they've been, personally tutored all their life. So I'm excited for their experience on that. Then I have an 8-year-old who's actually about to be in the 5th grade, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Like he's a few grades ahead, and take him to school every morning, and his 4-year-old little sister, and so she's just getting in that world. So it's all over the place, and then all the other ones are around the same age and very live in various areas and different ideas. So I'm like, man, that's when it's gonna get challenging. Talk to me in about 5 years, and I got like freaking how like 5 8-year-olds, like how many little league games and ballet practices can you be at the same time? So that's when the cameras definitely need to be following me around, because right now I can manage it, you know what I mean? Because everybody like this daycare here, nanny here, like when you remove the nannies, it's gonna go crazy.
Do all of your kids ever hang out together? Have you gotten every one of them?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's usually probably like in groups of 5 to 7.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Gotcha. Rarely is it like, unless it's like a photo shoot or, a big holiday thing. But usually like 5 of us will go here, or 4 of us will go. Like I literally just was at the zoo maybe 3 days ago with like 4. You know what I mean? And it's like, it just.
Do you have a nanny with you on standby?
A few.
Okay, a few.
Sure. Yeah.
There's no way, right?
It's like a nanny for every 3 in my mind.
Okay. That sounds valid. Yeah.
That is a valid thing.
But I mean, even then, it's like, because they all want daddy, so like the nanny is just there for backup. You know? So, but nah, man, and shouts out to all of them. I can sit here comfortably and talk like it's easy, but the mothers and the nannies are the ones who are really doing the grind work. They're the ones that's getting to it.
Yeah.
And that makes it, where daddy could show up and do bath time or read bedtime stories, and which my dad didn't do none of that stuff with me. So like I feel like I'm doing pretty good. It's like
so sweet. I'm gonna start crying.
But I take, especially right now, because I know you only get so much time with that. I really find it important to kind of find those core memory building moments to where you're like, oh yeah, I remember my dad used to do this with, and not to say like my dad was awesome, but he was just at work. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like for the lack of not wanting to. Like my dad had 5 boys in total, and I'm his oldest. So even with my dad, he worked like 3 jobs. So I was also being, big brother to my little brothers when my dad couldn't do it when I was living with them. So it's like, I just know the experience of a parent is so difficult, but I've been blessed enough to where I have a little bit more time than the average person that, all right, well, let's dedicate that time to the kids.
Well, I think one big thing that I'm curious about, with all these different kids, 12 of them, right?
Yeah.
How did you come up with all of their names?
Each one is a story.
We gotta hear this.
We gotta hear first. Like, tell us the names and then give us the story.
Well, the first 2, Moroccan and Monroe, are very Mariah Carey inspired. If you even listen to the name Moroccan, it kind of sounds like Mariah and Nick Cannon together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but also we both had an affinity for Moroccan culture. And like everything from like going all the way back to like Moorish science and the Moors, like I've been a fan of that for so long. And Mariah she's been to Morocco so many times, and the people there like embrace her and love her. So she had, even when I met her, she has a room in the house that was like dedicated to Morocco, and that's actually like the room that I proposed to her in.
Oh. Wow.
So Moroccan was always very special to us. And then Monroe, she loves Marilyn Monroe. Like literally, she has like Marilyn Monroe's first piano, and like she was just like, so she was a huge Marilyn Monroe fan. And then when I was like, "Yo, we can call him Rock and Roll," she's like, "I'm in." Like,
that's cool. Yeah, I
so
like that.
They've been rock and roll since day one. So that's them. And then after that, I had Golden, and Golden was like he's named after his grandfather. His middle name is Sagan. Was very strong into martial arts culture, and interestingly enough, his grandfather and myself actually shared the same martial arts instructor, and because we all kind of grew up in the same area. So
you could take us down right now if you
watch your mouth.
you don't need security, dude. You would whoop them yourself.
But yeah, so just even it's very centered in like martial arts and him being the golden child and all that stuff. And let's not play around. I love like almost the names to kind of sound like adjectives to a cannon. So like you have a Moroccan cannon.
That's
you have a golden cannon.
Yes, golden cannon.
Like that's a cool name to have. So that's golden, and then right after that, same with the adjectives, you have a powerful cannon.
Yeah.
And I always like, I knew even whether it was a boy or girl, I was like, I'm naming this baby Powerful. And it literally, she turned out to be a powerful queen, and that's literally her name. So
and I listened to that song with CeeLo Green, right?
Yeah.
And then you said something in there, and you were like, "I've named my kid Powerful. People thought I was crazy." What was the line?
I was just freestyling that. I was just talking. So I know you're talking about, but it was literally like, because I think the song is called Power.
Yeah.
And I was like, I believe in my power so much that I named my daughter Powerful. And I just really wanted to say like, no matter what room she steps in, when she introduced herself, she's gonna get respect.
Yes.
Like, you gotta call me Powerful Queen every time you see me. So having that was an outstanding opportunity to kind of live in that space as well. And then after that, like then I started rapidly having them come out. So I had Zen, rest in peace, and then Zion and Zilly. They all kind of came, which is around the same time. And Zion and Zilly are twins. So, and both of their mothers' names start with A, and they both wanted Z names for the kid. I was like, I gotta come up with some Z names.
Yeah.
So, Zion was, out of everybody kind of the oldest in that space of the twins. So we're like Zion and Zillion kind of sound like twin names. And then I was like Zillion Heir, which is kind of cool because he's like heir to the throne, but it's like a zillionaire. So like it was just
Zillionaire.
and again, Zillionaire Cannon, Zion Cannon, and then Zen was just really what he embodied. So it was just like, that's a cool name. So I got the 3 Z's out of the way, which was really cool. And then,
are you trying to get every letter of the alphabet?
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal.
So we got there's 27 of them?
Yeah, 26. I'm
Give
good.
this to me back in school.
Yeah.
I didn't go to college. So.
Yeah. Legendary Love, LL Cool Cannon.
LL Cool Cannon.
He's my guy, man. He's definitely, he's his mother's only child. So I was like, this was a legendary moment.
Yes.
And I literally felt like that was just a cool name to give him because, again, a legendary cannon and a love cannon. Who doesn't want a love cannon?
It's you got a cool last name to play off of.
Exactly. So, and then Onyx, which is, one of the most beautiful colors and stones in the world, and Onyx cannon, and it's cool because her mother's last name is Cole. So almost on my Andre 3000 vibe, I was like, Onyx Ice Cold Cannon. You know what I mean? So
that's sick.
Onyx Ice is a fun and beautiful name. Then I have Rise, which is also the same thing, like Raising the Cannon.
Rise Messiah, right?
Rise Messiah.
Rise Messiah.
RMC.
That's your favorite one. That's the one you always reference.
I mean, we're both believers of the Lord too.
Oh, absolutely. They're all referenced into my spirituality and my Christian belief. There's a Bible verse that's associated with all of their names. So, but Rise Messiah, just being the chosen one, So, and then from there, I gotta give a shout out to my baby girls. One, again, I have a powerful cannon, but I also have a beautiful cannon.
Gotta have
one. And then the baby girl is definitely the halo. She's our angel. Like, that was just, kind of, because when her brother Zen passed, it was like a memorable moment to get another opportunity in that space. So she's a reminder of Zen. So we're like, it's Halo. And she's also named after my grandmother, and her mom's middle name is Marie. So like Halo Marie.
I love that.
That's all 12.
That's all 12.
I love that they all have like a story. Like,
they do. That's what I was saying. And it's even more detailed than that. I was just rushing through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's like I got it memorized. And we're like, here, this is how you remember all 12. Can just run them down real quick.
Yes.
We made songs out of it and everything.
For sure.
I think it's really amazing you got all these kids, and you're clearly a great dad to them, and you got great stories to them.
Yeah.
Is it hard to manage all that different, those
energy?
kids and energy?
I think it's just, my job is probably just as hard as anybody else's. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm blessed enough to be able to probably have a little bit more freedom than the average person who, has a typical 9 to 5. I get the opportunity to pick up my kids from school and take them to school, and when I'm in town, if I'm not shooting a movie in Australia or something,
right? Which is
but
possible.
Even then,
you never know.
I can always have my family there. You know what I mean, and like turn things into trips and stuff. So I love the challenge. I'm a person that, like, I'd be lying if I was sitting here like, oh, that's easy. Oh, I got it under control. But I'm a challenge-driven individual, so I welcome more challenges, and it is quite challenging at times. But I always know, we'll prevail through it all. We don't just go through it, we grow through it.
Amen.
Love that.
Amen. And I think one thing that I feel a lot of fans will probably wonder too, I don't know exactly how kids work, but I'm sure you got...
They're human beings.
They're human. I get it. But like, I'm sure you got like child support, which is really expensive, right?
No, well, when you think about the concept of child support, that's usually implemented when someone isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing.
All right.
If from my ideology is everything that I have belongs to my children. Now, granted, that can be, if you're trying to divvy it up and who gets what, like, but I just don't think the government should be involved with how I take care of my children.
Yeah.
And unless I ain't got it, you know what I mean? Which normally I have it. It's like, I usually don't say no. I want my kids to have the best education. I want them to have the best health care. I want them to have the best opportunities, extracurricular, whatever they want, they can have. So in that sense, again, I know I'm very blessed and privileged in that. Usually child support is where people are trying to make ends meet and they're sacrificing things here and there. Luckily, right now, I haven't really had to experience that. And I have, again, shouts out to all the mothers of my children. I get the opportunity to interact in a way that is always respectful and it's always for whatever is in the best interest of the child. So whatever I got, they can have it. And at the end of the day, like, just don't spend it all now because when I'm gone. So that's kind of how I view it. I want to make as much money as I possibly can so I can give it to my children.
Well, speaking of the mothers of all of your children. So were you like in a relationship with all of them or some of them?
That's what got me into all of the trouble in the first place. I don't know. Relationships have always been weird with me. I know you guys.
Yeah, we want to hear about those.
This is a relationship podcast.
So we're getting into it now.
Yeah. I've never subscribed to the typical relationship. So I'm always one of those people I believe in the fairy tale. I'm a hopeless romantic, but I'm hard to pin down. I don't like titles. I'm this weird conundrum. I was tell everyone I'm a beautiful contradiction, a wonderful conundrum. Because I love everything about love, but I don't like to be confined. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably a very difficult guy to date.
So what does love look like for you?
every day, every experience, every expression. Like I'm a lover at heart, but that's the problem. I love too many people.
You can't just love one person.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Like I get that question all the time. Like, how can you love more than one person? It's like easy. Don't you love your entire family? Like, don't you love? So I think too, again, I'm probably, if we want to talk about, individuals or celebrities that probably take advantage of, I've definitely taken advantage of that space of being liked and catered to, because I get to maneuver in the universe in the way that I want to, where I know everybody doesn't get that. And I don't want to just say that's celebrities, but there's certain individuals that just move how they want to move. And some people take advantage of that. And I can even say in the past, I've probably taken advantage of it. I no longer do that, through lots of therapy and all that work. Like, I no longer want to be manipulative or narcissistic in a way like, oh, this is my show. You guys are just co-stars. Or, this is my world. I don't care about anybody else. Like, I've let go of a lot of that probably have gotten me into some, challenging situations. But now that, the world that I do operate in, I want everybody to have main character energy. So I love a lot, but I also understand that, there's power and beauty in monogamy. So, I mean, I haven't experienced that in a long time, though. Yeah.
Do all your different girls, do they have to go through an assistant to talk to you? Do you have 12 different phones?
No, I got one phone, Parker.
One phone.
And you have the number. No, I don't even see, first of all, I don't even believe them to be mine. I stop, again, just as much as I don't want to be pinned down, I don't want to pin anyone else down either.
So they're allowed to keep dating?
They can do whatever they want to do. And it doesn't, my ego isn't fed in that space of having ownership over a relationship. At this point, there's so many other things that are so much more important to me. Now, I appreciate, if we're talking love languages, I appreciate someone's acts of service and, if they want to, I'm trying to figure out how to word this correctly. If it's in them to be so-called loyal to me, I appreciate and value that, but I don't require that.
And would you reciprocate that loyalty back to them?
Well, it's hard. You know what I mean? And then because we got to get to that definition of what is loyalty. Right. Is loyalty and monogamy the same thing?
What do you think, Sarah?
Because I can be loyal to you to where I'm loyal to this person, but if monogamy wasn't a part of that loyal exchange, I can be loyal as a friend.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I only can have one friend.
No,
I'm just a loyal friend.
Vastly different, for sure.
Yeah. So I probably feel like it is impossible for me to be monogamous for a long period of time. The longest time I was monogamous was in my marriage. And, and even in that sense, it didn't work out. So I was like, why even, if I know I'm not built this way, why keep trying to do something that I know I'm never going to be successful at?
Yeah.
So if I can from the beginning say, I can give you everything except monogamy. And I've had some amazing experiences with some amazing women that were just like, yeah, I can't do that though. They hold value in monogamy. I want to be the only one. And it's like, well, we are going to be great platonic friends.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of great platonic friends that are just like, I know what you're looking for. You're looking for a husband. And a lot of times yo, you should experience that. Yeah. I think everybody who, there was a point, I was married. There was points in time where I've been engaged 8 times.
And you bought them all engagement rings, I guess?
Yeah, most. 8 is, I'm exaggerating. Probably more 4 to 5 times.
How much would you say you spent on engagement rings?
Oh, that's so funny. All right, $2 million.
Oh,
couple mil.
Yeah.
How much is mine gonna be, Parker?
Yeah, exactly, man.
Depends on how well this episode
Ice her out.
Come on now.
Can I borrow a couple million?
I got you. Funny enough, I don't think I've told too many people this story. When getting engaged to Mariah, it was a tough time for. It wasn't tough, but it was I wasn't balling like she was by any means. She could buy an engagement ring for every finger if she wanted to. And I was literally going to my friends yo, let me borrow a couple $100,000. I gotta get a good ring for my
Who did you go to? Was it some
man? So I went up to a few of my business partners. I went to some Nigerian princes. I went real talk. I was asking everybody. I was I gotta get her $1 million she's Mariah Carey. Like at the
Right.
time, Jacob the jeweler, shouts out to Jacob. I was like, Jacob, come on, man. If I give you 500,000, give me something that's like worth $1.5 million.
Is that the guy, the watch guy, Jacob McGill?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
he's got some nice jewelry.
Yeah. So, but I was at that time because, I was doing okay, but I wasn't, nowhere near, Mariah's level or even, where I am now. So I just put every dollar I had into that engagement ring, and she appreciated it.
And does she still own it to this day?
Yeah, I would never take it back. Yeah.
Well, I know the question is, did she put it on eBay or something?
Why would Mariah do that? She don't need to. She probably turn it into some earrings or something like that. But interestingly enough, it's funny because that was probably a few engagements in, and the ring that I had got for somebody before that looked very similar because it was Jacob. But it was the first one was way smaller than Mariah's, but people were trying to like, oh, he just cashed that old engagement ring and gave it to her. I was like, I would never do that. But it was, like every jeweler's rings kind of looked similar, but Mariah's was next level.
Well, clear this man's name. He
Yes,
didn't do that.
I did not do that. I would never do that.
He would never.
Never. Sarah, she can kind of speak on it more, but I hate to air out your business, but you get a little jealous about things.
I do. I'm a very jealous girlfriend.
As you should be, though, because you guys are like young and I understand this. Like I've been here before, and it's like you want that monogamy, that this is my partner, is my life partner, my soulmate. I used to believe in all of those things too, and I actually feel like it's a practice. Like I believe when two individuals come together to become one is amazing. Yeah, but I've kind of become one a lot of times. And now what I find value in as a parent, like, being the best parents that we can possibly be is way more important than the chemistry that we have. Because I now know, like, again, I don't know what it is about my makeup or however I've been able to live my life, but I've been able to experience some amazing unions and partnerships that most people would never imagine to be, so I'm a people person. I like to get to know people and figure out, that thing but there was times when I was younger, it was like, I only want this one person and I want to see how far we can take it. Like, that's an amazing journey, but now I'm like, I want to get to know that person. I want to get to know that person. Like, it's almost like the existence, like, do you believe in like a karmic existence to where like, you get different lifetimes and you get to experience stuff and lessons you get to learn? Or do you believe in, once you leave here, you go to a holy resting place and that's all it is? It's like, it's just different people's perspectives and how they deal with relationships. Yep. I've had the blessing to be able to experience a bunch of different lives.
Do all of your baby mamas, like, are they friends? Like, do they get together for wine night on Saturday night?
Interesting. I think, first of all, I'll say this.
They got to be jealous of each other, right?
They're all amazing women. They're all super strong and confident. Let's just start there. Because imagine having to be in this crazy scenario with my crazy ass, but then have to do it in front of the world with everyone's opinion. You gotta be strong.
For sure.
You know what I mean? You gotta have your head together and you gotta really know who you are. So, like I said, I've been blessed to have some of the strongest women ever to kind of take this journey with me. And I think they all want what's best. I think they all want the children to know and experience each other. And then I think at times they're like, well, I gotta be around this individual for the rest of my life, and I don't have any ill will or resentment towards them. So I don't like, if they see each other, they're like, hey, how you doing? But like, they're not trying to be friends with each other. So
no wine nights.
I'm pretty sure they've shared a drink or two.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You
But
go.
I don't think they're like, hey, it's 7:30 on Tuesday. So I think they're all cordial, you know, and as much as you would have to be if you're sharing, children with someone. There's no beef or drama or people trying to fight, but they're also human beings and they feel how they feel at certain times. But I'm usually the common ground and be like, look, it is what it is. It's all my fault. So you're going to be mad at anybody, be mad at me. And then it's like, it's not going away. Like, we're going to be here for a lifetime. Even if you just say 18 years minimum. But, you got college, you got weddings, we're going to be around each other for a very long time. And everybody kind of just lives their own life and has that same train of thought.
You're a great dad, and you've told me before that you bought one of your baby mamas a Lamborghini Urus.
Did I tell you that? Yeah.
I don't want to air out the business if you don't
I
want
knew
to.
because I call the Uruses baby mama mobiles. Those are baby mama guineas.
But is that like one of like, I guess what I'm curious is what's like the best Christmas gift you've given one of your baby mamas and or kids?
Oh man, Christmas is, I'm Saint Nick. That's a I mean, it's probably G-Wagons or like probably vehicles are always, you get to put the big red bow on it and all that stuff. But I don't know if I've ever done that for, I got maybe for Christmas for some people, but even around sometimes houses during that time, there's a couple of December home purchases that kind of took place. But I mean, yeah, probably a house.
That's pretty cool.
I take Christmas, I take gift giving pretty seriously, but I gotta get on your level.
But see, like it's a disease. It's like, cause like after you do something at that level, like, what are you gonna do next year?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm so serious about it, and I always try to like really give him like a thoughtful gift. And his birthday's in September, and I'm already like, what am I gonna do?
But that's the thing too.
I'll take a house.
Yeah, I go back to where I learned the lesson is like when you're married to someone that has everything, and it's like, oh man, you gotta get, like, at one point I was literally dolphin shopping for Mariah. I was like, I gotta figure out how to buy a dolphin.
And what was the results?
I mean, I got pretty close.
Really?
You almost got the dolphin.
Yeah, because I mean, she had a house or island in the Bahamas, and we were like, all right, how do we, like, maybe we'll house it over in like Nassau at the casino there, at their aquarium, and then like we can get the dolphin to get transported to the ocean in the backyard, and like I can build a dolphin aquarium, and then when we're not there, we'll send the dolphin back to the trainer. And like,
you need a pen and a paper. You need to start taking some notes.
That's true.
Needless to say, it was like, it was definitely an ordeal when I was dolphin shopping and trying to figure it out.
So
and not
sick.
because like Mariah loved dolphins, but like, yeah, it didn't go through. Like it was some laws that you could you can't
Dolphin laws.
Yeah, you can't smuggle dolphins across state lines.
Dang it, dude. Hate it when that happens.
They always say that to me.
This may be a dumb question, but obviously, we're talking about Christmas. Nick Cannon, what is your favorite Christmas song?
Come on, man. The one that's putting my kids through college.
Uh-huh.
All I want for Christmas is you. That and there it is. And Donnie Hathaway's This Christmas, those two.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Good answer. I know that was like a PR test right there.
Yeah.
It was the truth. It's like so many amazing memories to that song. Yeah.
You have, I would imagine, you got so many cool stories with all these incredible musicians and actors and celebrities and so on. Who is the most famous person in your contacts?
Ooh.
Who do you consider famous? I know everybody.
He knows
I know he
everyone.
does.
Donald Trump.
He's in your contacts?
And Barack Obama.
We got them both.
Yeah.
But how does that work? Like, you just ask him for
I
his
haven't
phone
talked to neither one of them in years.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I remember I was on the first campaign with Obama and his entire family. Like, we were literally in like motels campaigning from like state to state, where it was just nobody even believed he would be the president. So it's stuff like that to where great experiences. And then in a reward, I remember telling President Obama, and it was just this big dream. I was like, yo, if you win, I got to DJ the party, the inauguration party. And he kept his word, and it was literally, aired live on ABC.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, I mean, it's on television.
That's awesome.
I was the host and DJ for the inauguration party.
Oh, that's epic.
That aired on ABC for Barack Obama in 2008.
So cool.
So that's a solid answer.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't think
there you
can get more
go.
famous
You
than that.
really can't.
You want to break it down? Describe what we
Okay,
have?
so we have the dating diner hotline here.
I saw that
You wanna
thing.
grab
It was
it?
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
he's wondering what it is.
Let's bring it in.
Basically, we have people call in and tell us their dating experiences.
Okay.
Asks for our advice. We're not dating professionals by any means, but we're here to listen. We're here to say what we think about it. So
Okay. So somebody's on the other end of this phone?
Somebody's on the
Somebody's
other end.
gonna
Not
call.
yet, because this phone doesn't actually work, so we got to call on our phone.
It's a hollow phone.
Hello?
Hello?
So do you know who you're calling?
This time we do not. So we have a Patreon set up, and that's a friendly
Nice.
plug. If you guys want to subscribe to our Patreon and be on the Dating Diner hotline,
Yeah.
subscribe $5 a month, and you can become a caller. Maybe you get to talk to Nick Cannon.
Yes.
All right, let's call them, and
I would say you are a relationship expert. So you're
I've
the best
I've
person.
had a lot of lessons. I've
Yes.
done a lot of things the wrong way.
Hello?
hello, how's it going?
It's going. Is this Parker?
Yeah, this is Parker, Sarah, and our special guest, Nick Cannon.
No way. What's up?
What up, man? Who is this?
My name is Derek. I'm here in Atlanta right now, and calling in because I got a few questions for you guys.
All right,
All
Derek.
Right.
Let's
Let's
hear
hear it.
All right. So my first question is, I'm in my young 20s. I'm talking to this girl, and I really like her. I've been on a few dates with her. I've taken her out. I've covered the bill. I've opened the door for her. I'm complimenting her, and I'm afraid that she's into this toxic masculinity. And I have a question. What do I do? Do I completely not go for it? Something's messing with me. She's into these toxic guys. I don't know what to do.
Be toxic.
Oh.
I was that guy. I mean, if you ever seen my movie Love Don't Cost a Thing, it literally is this. But I mean, that's the thing. Good girls love bad boys. But we all have a level of toxicity in this. I'm gonna tell you why women are attracted, or why I believe. Women are attracted to bad boys because, especially the good girls, because they're always lived in this regimented and probably overly protected world. And when they get to take a walk on the wild side, when something's unpredictable, when something releases pheromones and endorphins, not just because I'm attracted to you, because I don't know where this roller coaster ride is gonna go. Like, everybody loves a roller coaster. Everybody loves that.
Not Sarah. Sarah is
I'm
definitely scared of roller
petrified.
coasters.
You got you a good one. She doesn't want the free fall. But that's where, like, people love adrenaline rushes, and bad boys bring adrenaline rushes. If you're gonna do everything she asks for, if you're gonna pay for the dinner, you're gonna call her early, you're gonna arrive on time, all that stuff.
There's
they're
no
like,
mystery.
Yeah, they're like, what? No, but if I guarantee you, if you don't call her for about 2 weeks, Derek,
Oh.
and then she's gonna be like, "Where's Derek? I haven't heard from him." And then you hang up, like, "Oh, I gotta call you right back. I'll holler at you." She's like, "Oh my God, boy, what's going on? Like, I'm missing out on something." And because you're in your early 20s, you get the opportunity. Like, you got time. You know what I mean? Like,
She'll come running back.
yeah,
Derek.
and if she's the right one, she'll come running back.
There
And
you
and
go.
then you can do all of those amazing things. But bottom line is, like, don't put yourself all the way out there, especially in your early 20s. Take your time, have fun, enjoy, and when the one is the right one, she'll present herself.
Well, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
No doubt, Derek, man.
You
Take care.
too.
Later,
Thanks for
dude.
calling in.
Bye.
See ya.
The Dating Diner Hotline. I love it.
Woohoo!
Boom.
That
Well,
was some good advice.
Yeah. And don't
Oh
take
my
off Sarah's
gosh.
face
Yeah,
with the phone.
Wow, we're really
are you okay?
I'm like dropping cover.
Well, that's going to do it.
That's
Hey.
gonna do it.
Awesome. This was so much fun.
Thanks for
Let's
coming.
go.
I mean,
Yeah.
who better to talk to you about relationships than the king
And the
himself?
milkshake's finally melted.
Finally.
Right at the right moment.
This is perfect.
And you'll notice we never even drank our milkshakes once.
Yeah,
I
'cause we
touched
were-
mine a little bit, but then I spilled it.
Yeah, we were so enthralled in this great conversation.
That's what it was.
Well, thank you, Nick Cannon, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Peace.